Geek podcast on the N.FM. Today is Wednesday, November 4th, and as always, I'm Adam, and I'm joined by my good friend Logan.
Hello.
What up? And man, we had quite a week of news.
Yeah, we did.
Oh yeah, so we got a lot to talk about on the show today. But how was your week, man?
Good. You know, same old. Work,
Yep.
couple games. Did see a lot of movies yesterday, so we'll talk about them later.
Yeah, I saw you had a day at the movies. I love those days. Just kind of get away. It's hard to do with someone else. I can't ever convince someone to like, let's do a double feature or a triple feature.
Yeah.
That's why sometimes I go, don't even tell anybody, and have a ball. I love it myself. Um, but yeah, man, we got a lot to talk about. Even got a new show to talk about. I'll talk a little bit about Ash and the vs. Evil Dead. I know you haven't seen it, but I'll kind of give my what I like about it and whatnot. Also got some like deals, coming up. So if you're interested in Xbox One, stay tuned. Still got a lot to talk about that, and we got some trailers for some TV shows, for some movies, and we'll get into all that. But yeah, man, I guess we can get into it because we got a lot to talk about. Let's start out. I want to start out with this first one here, and I just want to start out with the hashtag. For it's a cause. It's hashtag Force for Daniel, and what it was there's a huge Star Wars fan. Apparently, just a humongous Star Wars fan. Unfortunately, was diagnosed with cancer and a rare cancer. They're saying he might not have 2 months. And basically, the cast of The Force Awakens and everyone pretty much on the internet has trying to root around this guy so that he can see the film before it comes out. So I wanted to kind of get that. I wanted to get that on the top of the show. So if you're listening, retweet it. It's hashtag Force for Daniel. I mean, this is kind of like, I mean, that Fanboys movie come to life. Where they're trying to get this guy to see the film, and I from what I understand, J.J. Abrams, the same thing happened, and he was able to get someone to see Star Trek.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, the Star Trek Into Darkness. There was somebody. Yeah.
Exactly, and I remember that even it was a professor that was his dream was to be in Star Trek, or he loved Star Trek so much he actually put him in the movie. He was one of the people on the bridge.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah. So I saw a lot of the actors from the film, Mark Hamill, John Boyega. They're all retweeting it. So I wanted to kind of say at the beginning of the show that if you're listening, retweet it. I know that I don't have it in front of me. I know there is a place where you can go to help donate to the family, and I'll say that by the end of the show. We'll get that by the end of the show where you can go in and help his wife and whatnot. But I thought that was just such a good thing to happen. I want him to be able to see it. But yeah. But we'll get into some other news. This teaser trailer for me, I was super excited about. I can't say how excited I was for it, but the World of Warcraft. Did you see it?
I didn't see the teaser. No,
Okay.
I know the trailer comes out on Friday, right?
Yep, it comes out Friday. So if you didn't see the teaser, that's fine. I think it's not going to mean much to most people who didn't watch Worldcraft or didn't play World of Warcraft as much as it did to me and a lot of my friends who did. But man, when you see the wolves and you see the ogres and you see all the lands and all the cities, and I'm just like, oh, yes, it's finally happening. Oh yeah. So I am super super excited. I could not be more excited about it. But yeah, man, let's get into some more news here. Some random news here. I saw. Did you see Kevin Spacey is going to be in Edgar Wright's movie Baby Driver?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, just a little bit of tidbit news. I'm not even sure what the movie is out, but it was announced that he's doing Edgar Wright's new film that I guess he started working on after Ant-Man.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see here. Oh, did you see Warner Brothers released the logo for J.K. Rowling's Wizarding World, the Fantastic Beasts and Where to Find Them?
I did. And it looks like exactly how you'd think it would look.
Yep. Yeah, there's not much news to that, but that got Harry Potter fans all excited.
They did show. I think they released this morning the first Entertainment Weekly had their first press photo of Eddie Redmayne as
Oh, okay.
what's the guy, Newt Scamander.
Oh, okay, that's cool. I gotta see that.
Yeah. It's like, hey, look, you can tell he lives in Harry Potter world. Like,
You're
okay,
right.
cool.
I imagine. Oh yeah, I'm looking at it right now. Yep, that's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah, that's cool. I thought, oh, this was some cool bit of information. The director of Mean Girls is trying to make Bad Santa 2 happen. Did you see this?
Yeah, I've heard they've been talking about it.
Right, and well, it says Billy Bob Thornton confirmed to reprise his role in it. So I guess they're trying to get the director of Mean Girls to do it. Which is cool. What did you think of the first one?
I never saw it.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it was okay. Uh, yeah, I mean, there's not much more to say about it. It was all right. I mean, I think it got a lot of flack because it was a Christmas movie, but it was just like a hard rated R. Um, it was a character you couldn't get behind. You know,
Yeah.
it was yeah.
I'd
But
I'd
let's see here.
I'd rather
Oh,
watch that every Christmas than Elf.
oh, I love Elf.
I hate
Come
Elf.
on, the Elf's great. My favorite is National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Though.
There we
That's the
go.
Christmas film.
Yeah, see, well, I can get behind that.
Right, yeah, that's the one I watch every Christmas. Let's see here. We got some more news here. Uh, Duncan Jones to direct Paul Rudd opposite Alexander Skarsgård.
Skarsgård.
Skarsgård as Mute. I guess Mute takes place in Berlin in the near future, where Skarsgård's mute bartender is looking for his missing lady friend. He continuously encounters two wacko surgeons from the States, including one who's played by Paul Rudd, who will serve as his only clues as to the location of his beloved. So I guess that's going to be Duncan Jones' movie after he does World of Warcraft.
Okay.
Yeah, so and Warcraft's kind of different for him. That he hasn't done a big blockbuster picture. This one with Paul Rudd sounds more up his alley. So I
Yeah,
guess it's going to be
'cause
one of those. You do the big picture, you do the small picture. You do the big picture, you do the small picture.
yeah, 'cause what was his big Moon, right?
Mm,
That was his like big one. Well, he did Source Code though.
that's true. I guess Moon is really the only one that came to mind when I thought about him. Yeah,
Yeah.
Source Code, Warcraft, and Moon are the big ones. He directed another one. No, that's it. I think.
That was
Yeah.
it. He had like a short that
Okay.
pun intended landed him Moon, but
Gotcha.
yeah, like I think that's it. Like that's all he's done.
Yep. Yep. So I'm excited, man. I can't wait for the Warcraft movie. So yeah, hopefully well we'll be talking about it next week. We'll be talking about the trailer and what I think of it, and I just can't wait to see the locations and all the little stuff that I hear is in it. So. Oh yeah. Let's take a look here. You want to take the next one?
Uh, yeah, sure, why not? Actually,
Thought it was odd.
I'm gonna jump a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Just 'cause I know you don't want to take this name. Uh,
Yeah.
and I don't really want to take it either. Palm Clementine from Old Boy, the remake, they announced was cast in Guardians 2. Now they didn't say who, but the speculation going around is that she's gonna play Mantis,
Oh,
which
okay.
is an interesting choice.
Mantis.
She was, oh man, like they just had her in the last run too. I forget exactly what she does, but she's kind of like I don't want to say informant, but she's kind of like the contact of like, hey, what's going on out there in the world? Like
Gotcha.
that's,
Okay.
but it's not like a terribly friendly relationship with the Guardians, if I remember right.
Okay.
It's just like, yeah, I won't turn you over at first, you know.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. I couldn't be more excited. Guardians. I was talking with a friend of mine the other day about what's your favorite Marvel film, and I think that's definitively my favorite Marvel film
Yeah,
so
nice.
far. And I also heard that Matthew McConaughey turned down the role. They didn't say what the role was, but apparently he turned down the role. Well, yeah, I'm sorry. Rumor was it was a villain. So I can't help but think it had to have been like Adam Warlock or who's like the opposite of Adam Warlock. There's like a bad guy version of him. I just can't think.
Yeah, nuts.
We'll come back to it. We'll look at it during the break. But yeah, no, apparently it's on the tip of my tongue. But yeah, so I thought that would have been a cool, Matthew McConaughey with all these crazy good actors. But yeah, so I'm sure it'll work out.
Yeah,
Um,
the Magus, I think, is the one you're looking for.
that's it. That's it. Yeah, I knew it was like Magus or something like
Yeah.
that. It's a strange name. But let's see here. Let's see here. What do we got? We got some more. Okay, well, this one I thought was a bit odd. Um, we've gotten some um some theme park news in the last few months. Now I didn't hear about this happening, but apparently 20th Century Fox is going to debut a theme park in Dubai.
Okay.
And it's going to include Simpsons, Aliens, Predators, and more. So it's basically, they said some of the planned attractions include ones from Planet of the Apes, Aliens, Predator, Simpsons, Titanic, Sons of Anarchy, along with more kid-friendly inclusions like Ice Age, Rio, Night at the Museum. So yeah, basically the announcement promises new rides and new stories based on their film and television. So I just thought that was odd. They're building all these theme parks all over the world and not in Orlando, which kind of bums me out.
Well, I mean, I think Disney and Universal kind of have dibs.
Right. Yeah, exactly.
But I
Yeah,
mean,
no,
this is a pretty big country by itself. Like there's plenty of land to go around.
oh yeah, no, I'm totally being selfish. I just think in Orlando, you have Disney here, you have Universal, you're already gonna get the tourism. It'd be perfect, and it doesn't have to be Orlando. I'm being selfish. California, of course, is a good one. New York's a good one. They're just, or you can put them in places, start a new place in America for tourism. But yeah, it just kind of sucks. I'm never gonna go to Dubai. Maybe one day, but I'll be old enough to that 20th Century Park theme park won't excite me.
Like
So
the Simpsons might actually be over by then.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, if I'm going to Dubai at a later age in life, and that's gonna be the last thing I'm gonna want to do. I saw that, and I think we talked about this last week. Maybe we didn't, but Ocean's 11 is getting the Sandra Bullock to star in a gender-swapped reboot.
I think we may have mentioned like there were rumors about this,
Okay.
but now they're really looking at like moving forward with it.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, why? Why?
'Cause they're doing the same thing with Ghostbusters.
Like, why can't we have a female-driven new franchise?
Because that's too creative for Hollywood when it comes to
Right.
like it's
Like
hard enough for 'em.
Bridesmaids was great.
Yeah, I mean,
Something like that. Like that's I could see them doing another Bridesmaids too. That's something by itself, totally different. Strong female cast, strong female characters, good writing. But it just seems like in the last year we've got nothing but like, hey, you know that thing you love? We're gonna swap it and turn it on its head to be new and different, all new, different.
yeah,
You know
well,
what I mean? It's a
well,
bit odd.
one, one giant leap at a time for Hollywood here, really.
Exactly. But with that, we'll be right back again. You're listening to the We Geek podcast on the N.FM. See you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek podcast, and we got a little bit of breaking news, kinda on the break. You want to say it?
Well, just it was just something that popped up. We're gonna have NASA's announcing something else about Mars tomorrow.
Right. Yeah. So we'll probably bring it up next week if it's. I'm sure if they've announced it, it's probably something big.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, the last time they had a major announcement, it was because they found actual flowing liquid water.
right. Exactly. So that's gonna be really cool, and that kind of ties into one of the movies you saw this week. So.
Yeah, how about that?
Yep. Yep.
I
Oh
won't,
yeah.
I'll tease people about what it was. It took place like mostly on Mars.
Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Oh man, I loved that movie. But we'll get to that in a little bit. We got some more news. Hey, you take the next one about our alien.
Yeah, Neil Blomkamp has confirmed that Alien 5 is on hold, and that it is because of the production of the Prometheus sequel, Alien Paradise Lost, that nobody wants.
Is it really called Paradise Lost?
Yeah, that's the official title.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, because I
That
guess
is bad.
you know profits lost and audience lost and franchise integrity lost didn't work. Although they both fit, they all fit.
Is Lindelof still on that project?
I think so.
He is?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I mean I like him. But yeah, that I get why a lot of people didn't like that film.
It was
So
just, I mean, it was a bad. Aside from aside from criticizing it as part of the Alien franchise, even if you took that away from it, it's a bad sci-fi movie.
yeah, it's odd and long and drawn out. But yeah, that sucks. I know most people really want the next Alien movie. Um,
Well, because they're bringing back Sigourney Weaver and um, um, uh, was Michael Biehn.
right.
They're saying, hey, we're gonna make an actual Alien movie,
Yep.
not just something that happens to have the franchise in the title.
Exactly. It's kind of like what we've been getting with Star Wars and a lot of the other new things that they're like, hey, you guys know that things that you really liked, we're gonna give it to you again because we like making money.
Yeah,
We're tired of holding things back. You deserve it. Which we'll get into a little bit in TV, which is kind of a good thing, kind of a bad thing. That's a
yeah.
little teaser for another sci-fi franchise. But take the next one. This next one's more. It's a positive.
Well, Guillermo del Toro talked a couple weeks ago, because they've kept asking him, is Pacific Rim 2 canceled? Because the studio says it's postponed, and then they've said it's canceled, and then they've
Yeah.
said, well, it's just on hold indefinitely, and you've always said you're still working on it, so what's the deal? And he said a few weeks ago they're still, it's still a thing, and they're working on the script and the budget, and they just turned those in a few days ago. So, I mean, as far as Del Toro's concerned, they're still making the movie. So,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's all I need.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
just it really has. Pacific Rim 2 has become like it's weird. Like we either have news on that or on shoot, what's the other thing we've had news or Kojima Productions. And this week we have
Pretty
news on
much.
both.
Yeah, exactly. The week
Oh,
doesn't go by something at Kojima is some wacky, crazy news is happening.
oh man.
Oh yeah. Yeah. We got some Batman news. Upcoming standalone film reportedly to adapt Death in the Family and Under the Hood storylines.
Well, and I mean, they hinted at that with the trailer.
Yes.
Like without spoiling anything for anybody has who doesn't know, because it'll be a big deal to a lot of people who don't know.
Right.
Um, like we can see from the trailer, like this, that the that we've kind of had the Death in the Family story
Mhm.
already. Like it has happened before Batman v Superman.
Oh yeah.
So like this, I don't know. This will be interesting. It also kind of takes away from the whole he is the Joker theory.
Well, how does it though?
Well, because if they're gonna go with the Under the Hood storyline, like you can't have him be like, hey, he was the Joker and now he's gonna switch and become, like that's to come from like a resurrected kind of
Right.
crazed, you know, Punisher style vigilante to
Right.
reined in back to more of a protege. That's one thing, but to come from clear off the other end of the deep
No,
end,
you got a great point.
yeah,
Yeah. Instead of him going the route of Red Hood, the theory was he went the route of in the all the new trailers and whatnot. So yeah, I totally agree. If they did go that route, then that means that character is not we're trying to tiptoe around it. But yeah, I get
yeah.
what you're saying. Did you see? And this is, man, I really not. I liked the Suicide Squad trailer. I've liked Batman vs Superman trailer, but the more I see of the Joker, the more I don't like it. Did you see the glam photo that they did? I think it was Vogue magazine
Really?
or Esquire. It was Esquire. Yeah, dude, it was the Joker all glammed up, total glam, makeup, the jacket, and it was just with the damage on his forehead. The more I see of that stuff, it's like I get it. I've separated myself, going, it's not the Joker in the comics. It's a completely different take on him, and I'm okay with that. I just don't like it. It's not appealing to me. It doesn't get me excited. You know what I mean? Like other franchises have done with their characters and maybe retellings. They've done it better then it doesn't excite me. Like I see the new Star Wars trailer, everything about the characters excite me. Kylo Ren and whatnot, like it excites me. Everything I see about that. When I see the Joker, I'm just like, God, he's like a glam rock star, and that's not what I think of the Joker. So yeah, I don't know. It's a bit odd. But yeah, check that out on our break.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, on Empire, you mean?
Empire. Okay, yeah, I knew it was from one of those magazines. I don't read magazines anymore. It was a big deal because it was a cover and whatnot. I used to love magazines, dude. Back in the day, I had my subscription to like 3 or 4 different game magazines. I even had Dragon Ball Z magazine
Nice.
at some point. Yeah. But yeah, I had a movie one. I had Star Wars, actually Star Wars Insider. I had for years. I had PC. I don't do magazines anymore just because it's 2015, the internet and all that jazz. Um, but yeah, so anyway, we got some more news. Power Rangers. Now we kind of talked about this last week, or we thought they weren't going to be using the same names, but apparently they are going to use the original Power Ranger names, which I'm okay with. That's fine.
Yeah, I mean that was like that because when this thing's kind of had a weird sort of roller coaster when it's come to like plot and whatnot. Because when it was announced, it was like, what's a reboot? And then they kind of talked about, well, it's not really a reboot. It's just kind of like this thing where they get to use like it's what they're doing now with Megaforce, but sort of different,
Mm-hmm.
where they get to use the powers of the past Rangers and something like it was like, okay, this you can't explain this in a way that makes sense, so let's not do it this way.
Right. Oh
And
yeah.
I mean, apparently they're still working on some form of that, but the Rangers are going to have the names of the original Mighty Morphin cast.
That's cool. I'm okay with
So
that.
I just whatever.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It's cool. I'm down. They showed a lot of the we talked about it last week. They showed the actors playing them, and to me they all new. I don't think I recognized one of them. They didn't announce a Green Ranger though, so I'm curious if what's his face is gonna reprise the role. Reprise it. What's his name? What's the guy?
Jason David Frank.
Right, right. I'm curious if that would be a big like surprise in the movie.
There would have to I would love for there to be like some kind of some kind of like actual passing of the torch. Like that
Yeah,
would be cool. They kind of did that in
Spock.
Megaforce, where he came in to reprise. He did come in and reprise his role, um, and that was kind of neat. But if you're gonna do it this way and do a whole big thing and it would be interesting to see.
Yeah, it would be the Spock moment of the film, I think, and it'd be really cool if somehow that was kept under lock and key. I did see that they were the Star Wars the novel they've pushed because they don't want people to spoil it for anything because for some reason they were going to release the novel before the film, which makes no sense.
Which
Um,
which novel?
the Force Awakens.
Oh, really? Like
Yeah,
the
they pushed it. They don't they don't want anyone to spoil it, so they pushed it
why?
like a few months back.
Yeah, like you would do that like a month after the movie came out or something. Why would you?
Yeah, I mean, well, there was a big issue when Episode 1 came out with the soundtrack, where the actual name of titles were like, Duel of the Fates, Death of Qui-Gon Jinn,
Oh yeah, that's
and
right. Yeah.
yeah, it was like, oh wow, okay, well, hopefully we thought we were gonna get more of him, but spoiler alert, all you gotta do is look at the back of the album, so
And
or
and
soundtrack.
yeah, and people have been kind of freaking out over the Duracell commercial because they
Yeah,
think there's a spoiler in that.
I mean, you can make your jumps. I think most people who are any bit of a Star Wars fan has already made that jump and conclusion with the imagery in the trailers alone. It's you can't help but go, who is? They even asked the question in the trailer, "Who are you?"
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
yeah. So I think I've already come to my own conclusion in my head, and that won't be a surprise to me at all in the film. Knowing J.J. Abrams, there will be other surprises. There
Oh
will
yeah.
be much bigger
Oh,
surprises that no one's expecting.
oh yeah. There will be things that are actually surprises for sure. Oh yeah.
Exactly. So dude, I cannot wait for Star. We could come here every week and talk about Star Wars, and we could do it. But I digress. Let's talk about some other news here. You take the next one.
Yeah. Michael Stuhlbarg, who was in Steve Jobs most recently, is gonna play Nicodemus West in the Doctor Strange movie. Now, Nicodemus was the mild spoiler alert, because Doctor Strange ruins his hands.
Hmm.
Nicodemus is the surgeon that tries to fix Strange's hands,
Okay.
and it leads him kind of on another, like he becomes sort of a rival of sorts.
Hmm.
So, I mean, that'll be interesting. Like we have villains lined up already.
Hmm.
We have Baron Mordo. We're gonna have. I think we have somebody unofficially cast as Dormammu. So it's like that's and this, it'll be interesting. I want to see the first like trailer of this. Like I
Yeah,
want to see how this is gonna look.
I think the new Doctor Strange comic comes out today, so I'm excited to read that. And I totally agree with you. It's going to be interesting to see like the tone and whatnot. They got I forget who the director is, but he's all horror. It's all horror genre.
Yeah,
Uh, and so
yeah,
I'm excited for that. Michael, yeah, no, I remember him from Boardwalk Empire.
yeah. That was the other thing. Yeah.
He was really good in that. So, I haven't seen Steve Jobs. We'll hear from you later what that's. I'm curious what you think of it. I heard good things, but yeah, we'll get all to that in a little bit. Let's see here. What we got some more news here. $6 Million Man reboot, starring Mark Wahlberg, given December 22nd, 2017 release day.
And $6 million is how much this movie's gonna make.
Yeah, I mean, I know there's an older audience for $6 Million Man. I know my parents loved it. I don't. It's not. I don't know. That's not. I mean, I'm weird. I like older things too. I like Star Wars and stuff. I guess that doesn't count. But I never got $6 Million Man and why it was so exciting for people. But I guess you had to be in that time.
Yeah,
Yeah, you
yeah, I
had to
think
enjoy
so.
it from that time. But we actually we're gonna take a break. We got one more little bit of film news, but we'll talk about that when we get back. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we got one little bit more of movie news. They released a trailer for Kung Fu Panda 3, uh, and what'd you think of it?
It had pandas.
Yeah, yeah. We talked a little bit about it on the break, but I really enjoyed the first one. I never saw the second one. Um, there was this just to give you a little tidbit information about Adam and my little world. There was a scene in the movie where they say the word skadoosh a lot,
Yeah.
and my mom made this dish one time. Actually, she's made it a bunch. We never had a name for it. I don't know why. Now I'm gonna forget what's actually in it. I think it's like beef tips, mashed potatoes, and some sort of like tomato gravy thing she does. I forget what's all in it, but there's no name for it. She just one day made it, and I really, really, really liked it. I'm sure most people are like, that sounds disgusting, but I really, really liked it. It was just like chunks of beef or whatnot. And so one day I was just like, we'll just call it skadoosh. So that's what my family calls that dish whenever we want it. I was like, make some skadoosh. And so yeah, there you go.
Hey.
little peek into my life, my weird life. But yep. So that's it for for movie news. We're gonna move on to some TV here. I wanted to talk a little bit about real fast. There's Reddit did a AMA Ask Me Anything to the voice actors of Goku and Vegeta, Sean Schmiel,
Schimmel.
Schimmel,
I think
yep,
Schimmel.
and Chris Sabat, and or Sabat, I don't know. So they did and it's a video too. Go on YouTube. It's like a 15-minute long video, and it's basically just people asking them anything. Like, what's the weirdest thing that you've signed? They said like baby's diapers was the strangest thing. Yeah, Goku signed a birth certificate for someone named Videl apparently in Australia. And there's just some interesting tidbits. Like, for example, they say like screaming is the thing they hate the most about it because it's just constant screaming in
It
it.
kills your voice. Yeah.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. They heard about the new Dragon Ball Super when everyone else did. They got text messages saying they announced it's coming, and they're like, "Oh God," they know they're doing it. Right. They actually haven't officially been hired onto it, but they know it's going to happen because they're doing the movies and whatnot.
Yeah. There
One.
was an episode of Talking Tunes with Rob Paulson, his podcast, where he had a bunch of different anime people on, he had like Steve Blum and a couple others who escaped me, and Sean Schimmel.
Oh, cool.
And he was talking about he didn't know that Goku was the lead at first.
Oh, wow.
Like, he wasn't sure, so they were asking him. He was like, "How do you think it went?" And he was like, "Well, I think I had a really They were like, "You're going to be Goku," and he's like, "Really? Because I had a really strong Captain Ginyu audition."
Wow.
And
Oh, yeah. That's funny.
it's one of those moments where you're like, "Whoa, man, okay."
Oh, yeah. No, he a cool bit of information about him, which I found completely surprising, was he said, when him and Chris were doing their voices and whatnot, there was times where Goku was sick in the show or he was injured and he didn't have any sort of work for weeks apparently, and he had to borrow gas money. He'd call up his dad and say, "Hey, I don't have any voice work for Goku. He's sick. I need some gas money for his car." And so like, you really get a peek behind the curtain of like, I thought these guys get paid the buku money because Dragon Ball Z is probably maybe the biggest anime franchise or most recognizable franchise in the world.
Yeah.
I don't know that much about anime. I'm probably talking out of my ass, but to me, that's the one that you don't have to be a fan of anime that you can go, "Oh yeah, I watched that."
Everybody recognizes it, at least.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. So it was interesting to say, "Oh wow, these guys struggled,"
Yeah.
because when it came out, they talk about the internet wasn't the internet like it is now. There was no fan sites of Dragon Ball Z. There was nothing like it was now. It was just people in America just started hearing about it and stuff. So he said it was very interesting because at the beginning they weren't making a lot of money and he didn't make a lot of money, and so it was a struggle for him. So
yeah.
It was just a cool little interesting video to see a little peek behind that curtain and how they do it. Quick thing about Chris, who does the voice of Vegeta. I saw him at MegaCon here in Orlando, and I might have told the story before, but I saw a video online where he apparently does. If someone comes up and does a voicemail recording, he'll do it. And so when I came and I met him and I talked to him, I told him my favorite episode of Dragon Ball Z was where Vegeta, it's called, I'm forgetting it now, but it's called like something of a prince, where basically he's Majin Vegeta. He realizes he's the only one left that can kill Buu, and he can kill Buu by killing himself. And I was like, that's my favorite scene. And actually, in the video, in the AMA, he talks about it too. But when I was talking to him, he was like, that's my favorite part of it all. And I was like, this is going to sound weird. And tell me no. Please tell me no if this is not something that's cool. I was like, but it would be super dope if you could record just a 5-second thing from my voicemail saying, "Hey, you've reached Vegeta." He goes, "Absolutely, brother." And he grabs my phone and he goes, "Hey, this is Vegeta. I'm training with Adam. We're off right now training. He probably won't make it out alive." I don't know. He did his cool Vegeta voice. Dead on. He hands it back. And I was like, and I told him, I was like, I hope that wasn't rude. I felt like it was over. You were the coolest person I've met on that side of the industry. Where everyone else, it's usually like, "Hey, what's up? Move along." He was super freaking cool, and I'll always remember that experience. And he wasn't, I don't like overstepping or doing anything that I think might be wrong or rude, and he was super super cool about it. So I just wanted to say that real fast.
That's part of why I love voice actors.
Like, oh yeah, and like I said, I met Ron Paulson when the last what was it? Yeah, it was MegaCon, the last one. He was super cool.
Yeah,
so,
like they're and his podcast. You got to listen to his podcast.
Yep,
like
I listened to one of them. I need to put it on my list though to like subscribe to it.
Yeah, like because if you love that AMA and like the behind the scenes stuff and everything, like that's what it is. Like, that's what they do. That and Janet Varney, who voiced Korra on Legends of Korra, she does one on the Nerdist Network, the JV Club.
Oh, okay.
And it's the same, and she interviews mainly female voice actors.
Oh, wow.
She does a segment called Boys of Summer where she'll bring on whoever. But
okay.
It's also fascinating. I will listen to voice actors talk about their work and whatever just forever, because they have the most fascinating stories.
Oh yeah. I remember watching that Netflix documentary you told me about, and it was really good. It's really good. There was okay, so here's some big news for TV this week. CBS announces new Star Trek series to debut in 2017.
But
Alex, right. It says here Alex Kurtzman, who co-scripted the two J.J. Abrams directed Star Trek films, is overseeing the new Trek series set to debut on CBS in January 2017. It will feature new characters seeking imaginative new worlds and new civilizations, according to CBS press release issued Monday morning. It will be the first series developed for CBS All Access, which is its app. So it's going to debut on TV, and then it's going to go to the app, which I don't like that.
is it going to debut on TV?
It's going to debut on TV.
Okay.
It says it's going to debut on the old-fashioned way of watching television, and then it will move to the app, which I think is going to be a total disaster.
Nobody uses it.
What happened?
Nobody uses it.
No. Well, this will be the debut of it. And it says basically, most people in the industry believe it's going to be set in the new Star Trek universe, the new films or whatnot.
Sure.
And the downside is that the CBS All Access is a subscription-based service for $5.99 a month.
Yeah, and nobody uses it.
Are you kidding? Like, if you're going to do this, put it on Netflix.
That's what CBS is like. They're like, hey, we have a lot of content that is already on Netflix. So we can start our own version of Netflix, but for like a couple bucks less, even though we don't have remotely near that much content.
Right. No, this is going to be a total disaster. This is here's something you guys have been wanting. We're going to put it behind a paywall. It's probably not going to be good, and it's not going to have a lot of funding.
It's everybody. It's like some of these networks are like, hey, it worked for HBO without realizing that.
Oh my God, they have so much content.
Well, that's the one thing, and the other thing is people already are gonna pay for HBO. Like that's part of it. That's understood. Nobody pays for CBS. You can get a used TV as long as it's HD. Go to Walmart and get an antenna and hook up to it and get all of these networks. That's the whole point of these networks, is that they are public airwave.
I can see what's going to happen. It's going to debut on TV. People are going to go, oh, this is cool. And then the next Sunday or whatever day it debuts on, where's the next episode?
Yeah.
Oh, I got to pay $5.99 for an app to just watch this and nothing else?
Screw that.
Because everything else you have, I can watch on TV.
Yeah.
If this was like, hey, we're doing a new Star Trek and we're putting it on Netflix, which they wouldn't do because, of course, who owns it. I guess they could. I guess they could release it on Netflix, but it's like, even if this was an Amazon or something, I could understand it because there's a reason to get Amazon Prime. It has its own benefits. $5.99 for another paid service? Get out of here! I'm not doing that.
No.
CBS is going to force people to torrent it, and I'm sorry to say that. That's the reality. That's what's going to happen. No one's going to pay to watch this. They're going to go online and get it for free because this is stupid. If you're going to do it, you have a platform already. You have CBS. Go put it on CBS.
And I mean, look, like I can't imagine because their all access thing has been out for months now.
Oh, it has?
Oh yeah.
Jeez.
See, that's it, and that is my point. That right there is exactly my point.
Yeah, that's a disaster. Oh my gosh.
Nobody uses it. Nobody uses it, and I'll never forget like the first time I saw it because I forget, like I missed an episode of something, and I was like, oh well, like on each network's website they keep like 2 or 3 of their most recent episodes of stuff.
Right.
So I went on to CBS and I was looking for whatever it was, and they were like, "Oh yeah, you can watch like these select 2, and then like the rest of the season is on our All Access app for $6 a month." I went, "You can go to hell for $6 a month for CBS. Are you kidding me? No, not a chance."
Yeah. It's bad. It's really bad. Like, and that's the thing. I want to support this. I want to support new Star Trek. Like I've been talking about that forever. Like there needs to be a new Star Trek series, and it's supposed to debut for its 50th anniversary, and that's gonna be so cool. But what the hell?
Yeah.
Hopefully, the powers to be realizes that maybe that's a mistake by going to the app, and hopefully they keep it on TV. That's where it should be. That's where it's been forever. If you're going to make a jump, go to Netflix. Go to something that's established that people have content for. Because when I pay for Netflix, I know I'm going to not only get the Marvel series, I'm going to get House of Cards. I'm going to get what's the I don't
Marco
know.
Polo.
Marco Polo. No, yeah, Marco Polo, but the Pablo Escobar show that I'm
Oh,
in the middle of.
Narcos.
Narcos, yeah, Arrested Development. There's so many other shows. Orange is the New Black. There's a lot of content, and of course, every obscure movie you can think of is on Netflix. So it's I don't know. We've talked enough about it. It's really disappointing. This is just as bad as hearing, hey, Fox gave the rights to Marvel, or Fox gave the rights to Fantastic Four back to Marvel. Just kidding. It's kind of the same thing. I was reading the paragraph and I was so excited when I read it, and then I got to that part and I was like, what the this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
All right, but anyway, we'll be right back here again. You're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and on our break, Logan, you saw a trailer.
I saw that Warcraft teaser real quick.
Yeah, look cool.
Yeah, I was, I'm so used to I don't know, it was brighter than I expected.
Yeah.
I don't know if that makes sense to anybody but me, but I'm used to Warcraft being kind of dark and muted.
Right. Well, that's usually the Horde side. The Alliance is more bright and whatnot. So and from what I understand in the movie, it's gonna tell both sides, and of course they're gonna team together to fight something at the end, like every superhero movie does.
Oh sure.
And every movie like that. So, I don't want to jinx it. I'm knocking on wood here. I think this might be the video game movie that breaks through.
This will have to be.
Yeah.
If this one doesn't work, then they're not.
Right.
That's gonna be it.
If everyone that's played the game goes and sees it, holy crap! It's oh man, it just needs to be done right. If you're a video game fan and you want actual good films to come from the video game world, please pray for this movie. Go see it, support it. Hopefully we'll see the trailer at the end of the week, and we'll talk about it next week. I can't be more excited. The amount of lore in Warcraft.
Oh, it's insane.
It is insane. On the break, I'll look up this guy's videos that I watch, and he does the lore of it. And if anyone's listening, I'll say it. And if you're a Warcraft fan, it's a YouTube channel you need to subscribe to because he's just the master. His name's like Nobel or Noble. Yeah, Noble. But I'll find it in a little bit. But yeah, let's get back into the news because I could go on about that forever. There's a new female-led Van Helsing TV show to begin production on the Sci-Fi Channel, and it's going to be called, what was it? Vanessa Helsing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a thing, and it sounds something exactly like what Sci-Fi would do.
Yeah.
Yep.
It can't be worse than the movie was.
Yeah. It was with Hugh Jackman, right?
Yeah.
God, it's been forever since I've seen that. Let's see here. I think this one was a bit of movie news, but we'll skip that. Twin Peaks set to return in 2017, so we finally get a year, I guess, of when they're doing it. And
well, they had to iron out all the they had to get David Lynch back and everything.
Oh yeah. This was a bit of a surprise, but his Dark Materials.
Yeah.
Is going to become a BBC drama. And so the first book of the series was made into that 2007 film, The Golden Compass, by New Line. Apparently they're also going to be involved in the series as producers. The film starred Daniel Craig, Nicole Kidman, but it failed. So yeah, no, I mean, what do you think about that? Did you like that series or that book? Did you ever read it?
Nope. Never did.
Yep.
Never saw the movie either. I had no interest in it.
I remember it got a lot of heat because of an atheist message apparently, or
it's kind of I don't want to say it's an anti-Narnia series. It's sort of like a counter Narnia series kind of thing.
Right.
But like it's not, again, anytime, especially over here, when people are like, hey, here's some material that might be kind of against religion, and then people just take it and
Oh my
run with
God,
it.
burn the movie theater down.
Oh, exactly, right.
Yeah, yeah,
And
it's
it's
silly.
it was definitely overblown, but
Oh yeah, I don't even remember religious context in it, but maybe that's just because I wasn't paying attention
well, and
after.
the other thing was they toned it down a lot.
Oh, I'm sure they did.
Um,
Yeah.
and even then, like people were still like they did it for the broad appeal because they wanted it
Right.
to make money,
Hmm.
and and
Yeah, because I don't remember
yeah,
like I do remember in the film them like talking about like, wait, that way of thinking that everyone's thinking about. What if you think differently?
yeah,
And like it opened up something in the world. So yeah, it's I remember that bit, but yeah, it's I could see where they were making their jumps.
yeah,
Um, this
but
next bit of news, you take it.
yeah, I thought this was fantastic. Uh, Twitch is doing a new. They're branching out because YouTube is trying to take their market with their live streaming game channel. Twitch is saying, okay, well, we're going to launch a new section called, I think it's called Creative, and
Mm-hmm.
it's for like hobbyists and cosplayers and artists.
Hmm.
They kind of they hinted that it's going to kind of skew towards like video game themed stuff or nerdy themed stuff just because it's the audience.
Hmm.
But they said, and we're going to announce this by launching an official channel that's going to run an 8.5 day marathon of The Joy of Painting with Bob
Right.
Ross.
And this, I really like this because Twitch is all about video games, and if you're not doing video games, they'll actually like take it down. They'll take your channel down. And I like the idea that an artist could put a camera down and like say you could watch someone draw like a dope sketching of Batman or something, or
Totally.
art, like actual paintings and stuff. And people would do that. Why not? Like they watch people play video games. Why not watch someone do art just like Bob Ross? And so I saw that they had 40,000 people watch it.
They had 52 at one point when I
Oh,
when I went over.
jeez.
Which is fantastic. Like
Yeah.
and it speaks to the fact that we remember public broadcasting very
Hmm.
fondly.
Oh yeah.
Even if we didn't then, like I was not the biggest Magic School Bus fan back in the day,
Hmm.
but looking back on it, I'm like, wow, that actually was entertaining and educational. Like it actually worked like it was supposed to. How about that?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. You know what? And real fast, I would. This just came to me for some reason. You know what show I watched this week that really was funny? And I found it on YouTube, and apparently it's on Spike, I think, or one of those networks. You ever seen the Billy on the Street?
Yeah,
Yeah, so apparently he's been big for a while. I've seen a few of his things. I've actually talked about a few on the show. I didn't know he actually had his own show,
yeah.
and it's absolutely hysterical. So yeah, go look at his YouTube. That's where I watched all the videos on, and it's just I was dying laughing. Like he interviews a 7-year-old girl and he plays a game called Is It oh man, now my mind's going blank. What's that Jamie Foxx movie with Quentin Tarantino?
Django
Django
Unchained.
Unchained.
Yeah.
Yeah. He goes. I'm gonna quote a movie. Is it from Django Unchained or Weekend at Bernie's? So like the little 7-year-old girl goes Weekend at Bernie's, Django Unchained, and she wins. I don't know. It was funny. Sorry about that side note. My ADD kicked in. But before I forgot it, I wanted to mention if you haven't seen it, go watch it.
There we go.
Yeah, I know that was a total derail, but
That's all right.
but yeah. So the next bit of news. Powers, Will Wheaton joins season 2 on the soon to be introduced role. So we don't know what he's doing, but hell yeah.
Yeah, like his character hasn't been introduced in the comic yet,
Oh, okay.
but
That's cool. So
they're
he can do something new and exciting.
yeah, but they're getting ready to introduce him. So
Yep.
it's like yeah, he's gonna be this person that you guys don't know yet because it's not out.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm excited for that. I love Will Wheaton. Have you read his book?
No, no, it didn't.
Yeah.
What was it called? Refresh my memory real quick.
I have no idea. I read it years ago though. Hold on
Yeah,
a second. Book. Will Wheaton book.
I have.
Just a geek.
Yeah, that's
Just a
it.
geek.
Just a geek.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I have
Oh yeah.
Felicia Days sitting here that I want to read too.
Nice. Oh yeah, oh yeah. Next bit of news, we got some news about Gotham. BD Wong cast as Hugo Strange.
That's
Uh,
that's great casting. I love that choice.
oh yeah, perfect, absolutely. He's in everything. It seems like.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Jurassic Park, I think, is the first thing I saw him in. But do you remember? Do you remember? Did you ever see the show? Oh man, my mind's going blank. The Jail Show on HBO.
Prison. I know this. I know this. Oh, why can't I
Uh,
remember?
Jail Show, HBO Oz. That's it.
Oz. Thank you.
Yeah, him like Arabisi and all like all these actors that I can't pronounce his name. I just call him Triple A. Um, J.K. Simmons. Like there were so many good actors on that show, and yeah, he was on that as well.
Nice. God, I forgot all about that show.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Have you seen it? Like the whole thing?
I don't. That no.
Dude, you have to see that. That was one of the unsung heroes of HBO because it was just cool. It was like here's a show where we can get it's Oz. It's this new experiment in jail where basically we're gonna put every race and gang in the same center and just see what happens. So you have your Italians, you have your Latins, you have the like Africans, from Africa. You have like your blacks, you have your whites, your Asians, and then you have these two Irish guys. Only two of them, but they're freaking crazy. No one wants to mess with them. And the one of the Irish guys, you would know him. He's from oh man, he also went to my mind's going blank. He went to that show, the cop show, the cop drama.
Well, that narrows it down.
Yeah, they both went to it. Oh God, this is really gonna bother me. I'll get to it. Okay, we'll come back to that.
What network
But
was it on? Let's work this out here.
oh, okay, yeah, no, it's a Law and Order, I believe.
Oh, never mind. I don't care.
Yeah, it's a Law and Order. One of them went to SVU. He's got a huge forehead. I forget his
Christopher
name.
Maloney.
Christopher Maloney, and there was another one, and I don't know his name, but Christopher Maloney was one of them. He's in the show. He plays. Actually, there's three people on that show from Oz. There's B.D. Wong, Christopher Maloney, and then the other guy that I can't think of right now. But yeah. So oh yeah, Dean Winters. That's it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's the Irish guy. So yeah, so I don't know. It's a good show. Good show. But we got some more news here. You take the next one.
Okay. Well, also sticking with Gotham news, Kristen Hager from Being Human was cast as Nora Freeze.
Who's Nora Freeze? Or is it Fries or Freeze?
Freeze. It's Mr. Freeze's wife.
Oh, okay. That's right. They're going that angle.
Yeah. Well, that's how he becomes Mr. Freeze.
Well, gotcha. Yep. That's right. Cool. Yeah, I remember them talking about that not too long ago. They were going to introduce Mr. Freeze.
Yeah, and they cast I've already forgotten his name. But yeah, we talked about that last week. Like they cast Victor Freeze.
Oh yeah. What's this Greatest American Hero?
Okay, The Greatest American Hero was a show that was on like in the early 80's. It's on Netflix now. It's another one of these like from back in the day. Like it's another like $6 Million Man thing.
Oh, I've seen Sheldon wear that shirt.
Yeah. And so Fox has decided they're gonna reboot that as a TV series again. And this one I'm gonna ruin.
That's why I wanted you to take
yeah,
it. In case you're wondering.
Famuyiwa, I think, who directed Dope, is gonna write and direct the pilot for this. And Phil Lord and Chris Miller from the new 21 and 22 Jump Street movies are going to executive produce this series.
Okay.
So that's interesting. So that means it may just not suck.
Right. It's some talent behind it. And yeah, they showed the Preacher trailer. Did you see it?
I did. They've downplayed a lot of the like really big supernatural elements though.
Oh, okay.
Like
I was not expecting it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I don't know. This looks interesting. They've nailed Jesse, like that. The design and that's perfect for him.
Nice. And there was another. What's that new AMC show that's coming out? Where it's
Into the Badlands.
When does that come out?
I don't know. Is it next year?
No, it should be this year.
Is it? I don't know.
It's in November. Yeah, November 2015.
Huh.
Yeah, it comes out this month.
How about that?
Let's see here. When's it come out? It comes out next Sunday.
Oh,
So,
nice.
yep. All right. Well, we'll run over. So, we'll be right back. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we'll see you in just a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we got a lot more news to talk about. We're going to get into games in just a bit, but Logan, you got some TV news?
I do. An Indian actor named Neo Nitin Mukesh has apparently landed a substantial yet unconfirmed role in Game of Thrones Season 6.
Oh, okay.
Just thought
That's cool.
that would be interesting to throw out there. He's the first Indian actor on Game of Thrones, I think.
I was just going to say, I don't think I recall any Indian actors in it.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome. Any game. Oh, man, I can't wait for that to come back. I can't wait for that to come back. Oh, man, yep. Let's see here, but we got let's move on to some video game news. You take the first one here.
Okay. Let me pull up my notes again real quick. Oh God, yeah, because it's Wednesday. It must be time for some more Konami Kojima news.
Right.
There was a rumor going around that Kojima's Los Angeles studio, which has had like 4 different names, but its most recent one was Kojima Productions Los Angeles. There was a rumor going around that Konami had shut it down and laid off, what was it? I think the 35 people that worked there. And Konami confirmed today that they did do exactly that. Because, this is just, this continues to get weirder all the time. Like,
It does.
it just seems, and I'll say it, the perception of this, because I don't know the business end of it, because, we're not, working at Konami, and neither are these people anymore. But
they're just gonna be doing Plinko machines, and it sucks that we're gonna have these great franchises. Metal Gear Solid could arguably, for a lot of people, probably not mine, but for a lot of people in the industry and a lot of people that I listen to podcasts for and stuff like that, it's their game of the year so far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And for a company to have such a massive hit, for them to just seemingly destroy themselves and go into the business of doing Plinko machines and whatever and gambling, like that's where everything's going. That kind of sucks. That really sucks.
Well, but I mean, there's big business in that too.
There is, and I think that's what it is. At the end of the day, they're thinking, well, there's big business here, so let's turn Big Boss into a Plinko machine.
Yeah.
And that's what I think is exactly what's happening, and that's been the writing on the wall for so long now. That's what everyone, insiders, are saying. That's what they're doing. There's it's all going in that direction. It's all been true.
That's too bad. Can we just have somebody like go into the main office and hit up down left right BA start? And
right. Exactly.
Maybe like it'll just reset the company.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just fix the whole thing.
We got some other. I thought was weird news, but
this is weird news.
It's smart for I don't know. I don't think it's smart at all. But I mean, okay. So this is what it is. Activision buys Candy Crush maker King, $5.9 billion.
Yeah, King did. Was it like King Digital Productions or whatever the whole name is?
Here's the thing. LucasArts wasn't even purchased for that much.
Yeah.
Marvel wasn't purchased for that much.
Yeah.
This is insane.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't know the numbers in and how much Candy Crush makes. I don't know anything else King does. I guess there has to be money in it to be made. I personally don't think mobile gaming is the future of gaming. If it is, then I'm out. It's and I don't want to sound like an elitist at all or anything like that. I don't want to sound like a snob. Like you have to play on console or PC to be a gamer. You can be a gamer and play those things, and that's okay. I don't think that's. Yeah, I don't know. It's just that's not the direction I like to see these big companies go in.
Microtransactions.
Well, yeah, I mean that's fine though. I mean we have them in Destiny now.
Right, but I mean that's got to be what they were looking at. Like Candy Crush, like games like that. Look,
there's a big difference between microtransactions and Destiny though, and microtransactions in Candy Crush. You have to buy that in Candy Crush to move forward. You don't have to buy a dance in Destiny to move forward.
And I agree, but
Right.
look at the way they're designed. Games like Candy Crush and all of these are designed for you to spend money.
Oh yeah,
Like
yeah.
that's the point of a game like that. And look, here's the thing. These kind of things used to just be a joke. But
Mhm.
how many programs do you flip on? How many sports programs do people watch? And there are commercials. There are serious, fairly high production value commercials for Game of War.
Oh yeah, no. When there was about a year where I didn't have cable. I watched it, DVDs. I watched, I just had a really high speed internet. I had HBO Go, I had Netflix and all that, and I kind of cut the cord when it came to having cable. And I eventually got it back. But for a year I didn't watch it, so I didn't watch commercials pretty much.
Yeah.
So I go a year without watching commercials, and then when I came back to having cable, or I'd be at like a family member's house or someone's house and be like, "What is this commercial for? What this is what game of the show like they all would end with an app. It'd be these huge production commercials, and it would end with like play Game of War or yeah, whatever that stupid game is. And you're absolutely right. I mean, there must be money to be made, of course. I'm not I'm not trying to downplay that. I don't like companies like Activision. Just to me, it puts a bad taste in my mouth, I guess. It's not the direction I like to see them going. Like them buying Blizzard, genius decision.
Right.
And Blizzard is going that way too. Look at Hearthstone. It's a free to play game that you can purchase or you can purchase packs and whatnot, and it's kind of taking a little bit of that aspect of it, and it's got millions of players, and who knows how much money they're spending on it. So I mean, I don't know. I think it's
I get the business end of it because Candy Crush cannot have cost a tremendous amount to make. And I imagine games like this are the paranormal activities of video games.
But doesn't it seem like it's already gone? Like I haven't heard the name Candy Crush in a year or so.
That's my biggest thing behind this was like like 2 years ago this would have been a giant thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
But now I don't know, maybe they're working on a Candy Crush 2 or something. I don't know.
I think it also might be that we are in like an echo chamber where we don't play those kind of games.
Also very possible. Very possible.
We're more like the AAA. We're more like the core gamers where that to us is not something we play with. Where to maybe that's something our aunts or whoever, like that's the thing. Like whenever I talk to family members who are in that kind of world of playing those games, they're on to other things. I don't play Candy Crush, that's in the past. I play blah 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 Squidward blah, whatever it's called.
Yeah.
It's some new game that's just like it where they're crossing things off, or they're doing whatever the same thing Candy Crush was. I'm sure they've moved on to a new game, so it's like, is King? I guess King really is that I don't know. That's man, Activision. I don't know.
And they weren't Activision like just a couple of years ago looking to start selling off pieces?
Yeah, it's not good.
But now suddenly they've got $6 billion they can spend. I mean, you think people think their older sisters spend money on Candy Crush. Holy crap!
Oh yeah, but we gotta move on. We gotta get into some more video game news. Speaking of Zynga, players number continue to fall. Basically, the CFO resigned for Zynga. David Lee left Zynga, which is another one of those type of companies. And yeah, I guess the daily inactive number slid more than 20%. Apparently, that company's going down the drain.
Well, because Farmville is over.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like, Candy Crush is gonna go that route. It's not going to. But anyway, we gotta move on. We got some more real video game news to talk about. Warner Brothers basically is offering full refunds for the rest of the year for the PC version of Arkham Knight. Did you see that?
Yeah, part of me feels bad because I hate to see this kind of thing happen. Part of me doesn't care because I don't play PC games, and I mean, part of me kind of laughs a little because I run into so many, and I know they're not all this way, but I do run into so many PC elitists.
Well, it's not. I don't even see this. I don't even see that side of it.
Yeah.
PCs are fantastic and they're awesome machines. You get the you get what you pay for with them.
Oh, totally.
This rests on Warner Brothers. I really.
Oh, big time. Oh,
yeah.
Big time.
they screwed this up royally, and really where the problem lies in this is the people who pre-order these type of games. I will not ever pre-order another Arkham Knight type game or anything from that studio because of the nightmarish things they had. And apparently they knew all about it. They shipped it going, we know it's broken, we know it's a disaster, and there's nothing we're going to do about it. And they had issues with Mortal Kombat this year. This is a studio that is really they're pushing their products out and not waiting on it. Like,
Right. Well,
it's not Bethesda.
right. Well, and then you have to be clear, like, this is the publisher. Like, because the Warner
Right.
Brothers has both, Arkham and the Mortal Kombat series, but they were made by two different studios.
True. But you're right. But it's you see those names and you see the constant issues.
Right. And
It's
you realize
things I'm not going to want to associate with.
yeah, and that's when you see like you said, it is Warner Brothers. And
Right.
it's saying like, look, we got to get this out. And maybe the developers are saying, are telling them, this is a thing. This is not, this isn't done yet.
Right.
And they're
And that's the thing. They're wanting you to drop $120 on their what a collector's or whatever edition. It's ridiculous. See, that's the thing. With studios like Naughty Dog, studios like Bethesda, I have no problem putting my money down on it. Bethesda's doing it perfectly. It's the best thing for them to go, this product is coming out this year. The whole 6 months thing is perfect. I don't think a game should be announced prior to that. I think it should be, this game's coming out and it will be out by Christmas. And
Right.
that's it. And they waited years because they wanted it to be finished. And as the same thing with Naughty Dog. When Naughty Dog did The Last of Us, it was supposed to be out, and I think they pushed it 3 or 4 months. And I was listening to the developers talk about it, and they were just like, that game was not a 10, it was a 9, and we knew we needed to still work on it, and everyone was expecting it to come out at a certain specific point in time. I forgot when it was supposed to come out, and then they waited 4 months, but that's what the difference is. And so I like that. I like games that hold. They should have done that with Arkham Knight. They should have held on to it until it was ready to be released. And it sucks. I don't want anyone to buy a game and it not work, But yeah, we got to move on. We got so much more to talk about. Did you see the trailer for the Battle of Jakku teaser trailer for the Battlefront?
I did not see that.
Oh, it looks cool. It's like, I forgot what it said. It was like 26 years previous. So like apparently this is not too far after Return of the Jedi. And so you still have the old Stormtrooper. You still have like, and you like you're getting up off the planet, and you see you see the AT-ATs on the sand planet, the Taku or whatever it's all saying. So it's like things that are familiar in a different setting,
Right.
And then you see the giant, ship crashing into coming out of the atmosphere, and you're just like, oh, this is gonna be awesome. Yeah, it was really, really cool.
Nice. Yeah, I'll watch that during our next break.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, we'll still be on video games. So, Uncharted trilogy is releasing a soundtrack to vinyl.
Yeah,
Vinyl.
this is still a thing.
I think it's cool. Hey, if you're a vinyl fan, that's awesome. And Uncharted trilogy, that soundtrack is amazing.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's it's awesome. But we'll actually take a break. We still got a lot of video game news to talk about. Yeah, we'll be right back. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the in.fm. See you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast. You're listening to us on the in.fm, and we got a lot more video game news to talk about. Did you see the it was like a trailer or pictures or whatnot from the Pokken tournament thing, the new Mewtwo?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And apparently it's not canon or anything. It's just like some cool form that they put for the game.
Yeah, he's a boss over in the arcade game. They did say he's coming to the Wii U port, too.
Oh, okay. That's cool. Yeah, I think I might actually skip the Wii U. Now, I might skip Nintendo this generation and wait for their NXT or whatever it's called.
What isn't it, the Nintendo Cross? Isn't that what they're calling it officially?
Right. Yeah. I think I'm probably officially going to be skipping the Wii U this time around. I don't know. It's tempting, but I might actually be leaning towards an Xbox. But we'll talk about that in a minute. A little bit of tidbit information. I saw that Hearthstone is getting its first co-op for the first time. It's a game where you basically, in the game, your given card, so it's not going to be like from your deck or whatnot. And you're going to be able to play with somebody facing an opponent. So it's gonna or the computer. So it's gonna be like playing with your friend trying to take on a boss, and you both have a deck of cards. So I don't know. That's interesting. I think that's kind of cool. And you get to help each other. Like you'll be doing it over Skype, and you'll be like, okay, well I have this card, you have that card. Put that down. I'll put this down. We'll beat them. You could do like co-op, play 2-on-2. I don't know. I think that's really cool. I think that's a cool, card, online card playing game. That's awesome. I saw this voice actress, Courtney Taylor. Did you see this?
No, tell me about it.
For Fallout, she does voice for Fallout. Apparently, she did the one before as well, or a few other ones. Basically, she said Fallout 4 is like a Pixar movie.
What?
Yeah, and the way she described it was, I went to Pixar in Emeryville once, and they were talking about the movie Cars, and the level of detail in the movie Cars, where basically in every car they would know what is in the glove box, even if they didn't actually open the glove box. The creators knew exactly what was inside. You couldn't just say, oh, I have no idea. The details were fleshed out completely. And that rung the same for Fallout 4. So he said, basically, there's some places you'll never see in the game. The creators know what's there. They've created something for it that they know exists in the story and whatnot. You might not ever see. And so I think that's kind of cool. I guess she's just trying to talk to the amount of detail they're putting in the game.
Yeah.
And that, it's like, it's not just this, here's a story, you're going to go from here, you're going to go from there. It's everything is completely fleshed out. And that kind of reminds me of like how Skyrim was.
Nice. Very cool.
There's areas of that game you would never see if you went one route.
Yeah.
And never veered off the path. And so I think that's really cool. I can't wait. That's probably my most anticipated game this year. That and Battlefront, I don't know. Battlefront, it's still not my thing. It's Star Wars, of course, so I love it. I'm going to enjoy it, but it's still not my... I think Fallout 4 is the one that's going to actually pull me away from Destiny a little bit. And
that's next week?
Yeah, exactly. That's next week. I'm super pumped. Blizzard Entertainment announced basically they're going to stop releasing numbers. They basically, I guess, the company confirmed 5.5 subscriber the last time the company, Yeah, I guess they have 5.5 million subscribers at the moment. They go up. Every time an expansion's released, they jump up to, 10, 15 million or however much it is. I think it was like 12 million or something like that. They'll spike, and then they'll go down after 3 or 4 months. That's fine. You don't have to release numbers. I know that Bungie, for example, and I guess we kind of go right into that. Bungie released a whole bunch of numbers except for sales. They don't, for some reason, list sales. They tiptoe around it. They say everything but the sales numbers. They basically said, Bungie said, there's over 25 million registered players. And since launch, Destiny's become the most watched console game on Twitch. It is active players are playing about 3 hours per day. It was awarded the Game of the Year by British Academy and Film and Television Acts.
Wait, it won a BAFTA?
What happened?
It won a BAFTA? Are you kidding me?
Yep.
Wow.
Yeah. It
That's huge.
Sorry, I couldn't tell if you were being sarcastic.
No, they're like those are the British Oscars.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. It's the way you were saying it, I couldn't tell if you were being sarcastic.
Oh, sorry, man. Yeah, no, seriously. Like that's genuinely like, damn, wow.
Yeah, it won Game of the Year. Taken King broke the record for most downloaded day one game in PlayStation history. It set a new day one franchise benchmark for both total players and peak online concurrency. Surpassed the original Destiny launch day last September, which is in itself the biggest new video game franchise in launch history. Says Activision Publishing's Destiny and Blizzard Entertainment's Hearthstone, Heroes of Warcraft combined now have more than 50 million registered players and nearly 1 billion in non-GAAP revenue life to date. Yeah, basically, they also said we expanded our franchise portfolio by launching two of the industry's most successful new brands, Blizzard's Hearthstone and then Destiny. And yeah, it said these. Yeah, I've already read that. Said these generated
Yeah.
more than 850 million in non-GAAP revenue. So it is absolutely insane. The numbers that, and that's what I was saying, is that they'll talk about numbers all day. They won't say, for whatever reason, the sales. But yeah, so that's insane. But we'll get on because we still got a lot of more video game news to talk about. I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit of deals,
Go for it.
actually. Did you see any of the Black Friday deals?
I saw a couple. Like I saw the one for Dell, and I think that like I know Amazon has started doing like some of their like pre Black Friday deals.
Right, yeah. So some of the first deals offered on Amazon's countdown to the main event, including Metal Gear Solid Phantom Pain for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, is now $39.99, which is a great deal. It's a good game. And the Game of the Year edition for Dragon Age is $40, down from 60. Other titles noted on the video game page of the site, Black Friday, there's a bunch on there. Right now, GameStop is, if you buy a new console, you automatically get a free extra controller for their Xbox One. I think Dell has the best deal.
Yeah, this is gonna go. This is gonna go like lightning.
Yeah. I think on Black Friday, Xbox One. So it's going to be the Gears of War Ultimate Edition. So it's not going to be the 1 TB. It's going to be the 500 GB. But
Right,
it's going to
but
be the so it's going to be the Gears of War Ultimate Edition plus Fallout 4 plus an extra controller for $299.99.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like when that one goes up, it's gonna be gone, like
Yeah.
instantly.
Right. So I'm going to be there that night trying to get it. If I don't get it, I've come to the conclusion that that's the next system I want, is an Xbox. And the reason being is I've played Halo. I've never I don't think I've ever completed a game. So I want to get the Master Chief Collection,
Yeah.
and then I want to get the new Halo game. So I know that's not a reason to buy a system or anything like that. But
Well,
if
now I would argue against that. I would say that's why they make
so,
those games, is to
no, you
sell
got a point.
systems.
That's the big franchise that I've never got my hands on because um whenever the original Xbox came out, my brother was the one with the Xbox. I had the PlayStation 2. Um, you know, I played KOTOR on his Xbox. He had Halo. I never really got into it. I didn't think it was that good. And when Xbox 360 came out, I loved it. I was an early adopter. I even had the HD drive, HD DVD drive for it.
Nice.
I had King Kong. I had a few other games. I had Gears of War, and then I got the Red Ring of Death, and I wasted a whole bunch of money on it. And so that's when I moved to the PlayStation 3. Now I've had PlayStation 1, I've had PlayStation 2, I've had a PSP. I didn't have a PlayStation 3 at that time because everyone had an Xbox. But I was so disgusted, I moved to the PlayStation 3, and I was happy with what I had. I mean, Xbox, of course, is where a lot of my other friends were playing, but I would have never fallen in love with Uncharted if I wouldn't have gotten a PlayStation 3, or God of War, or a lot of these other games. So anyway, that's how that went. And I never really got into the Halo franchise. I never played any of the other series except for at friends' houses and every once in a while. But that's it. I want to play from Halo 1 all the way to, what is it, Halo 5?
5, yeah.
Yeah, and apparently it's all on the collector's edition. There's one missing, right?
Reach, I think, is not on there,
Reach.
which
Okay,
is too
well,
bad because Reach was my favorite.
now isn't there a way to get Reach or something in it? I thought there was.
I know they they did that with ODST.
Oh, okay, it was ODST.
That was the one I think they released later on, but I don't think they released Reach. Now
Oh,
maybe I may be wrong, but I don't think Reach is available for that.
okay. Well, so I'm not a completionist, so it's not that big of a deal. But
But Reach was so good though.
but that's I'll go back and I want to try that series, and so this way I can try some of the other franchises that I mean I'm not that excited about any really of the other Xbox franchises, but they're out there. The new Gears of War and little ones like that Cuphead game looks cool and neat on it. So like there'll be things I'll get for it. PlayStation will probably be my main console, but I also have some friends that only have an Xbox. So it'll be nice to kind of play with them some. Actually, one of my buddies, we go back so far. He's the guy that I played the Star Wars Jedi Outcast with. He has an Xbox One, so we can't play. And he's the guy that I played World of Warcraft for years with. And so we're at a point now where we can't really play games together. We could play PC, but he's usually on his Xbox. So if I get that, I might get Battlefront for it and be able to actually play a game with him. So who knows? If I can get that $300 deal, I'm sold.
Yeah.
Yeah, but other than that, then I'll probably just wait and see. I did see that the Xbox One model boosts up 25% or 20% faster is now available. There's some other bits of news here, and we should get to it before we take a break. What is this Nier game?
Oh man, this is one I recommend. If anybody still has their PS3, go find a copy of Nier. It was an awesome Square Enix action RPG. And it was just like this weird little. It was a spiritual sequel to what was the damn franchise? I want to say Drakengard because that's what's jumping to mind. I don't know if that's it, but it was either that or one like that.
Okay.
And it was a fun little action RPG, and I loved it. And the soundtrack is killer.
Okay.
The soundtrack, they're still selling the soundtrack in measurable numbers. That's what's crazy. And so they are doing a sequel to it. It's not like a direct sequel, but again, it's another of these that's like, yeah, it's in the same kind of weird world and bizarre stuff happens. It's called Nier Automata, because you fight like steampunk robots, like automatons, hence the name. And they dropped the trailer for it, and but Platinum Games is working on it, and you can tell because the action, it's a little more actiony than the first Nier, but I am super excited for this.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I've been looking at that now since you were talking about it. Now I remember this. I never played it, but I know what it is.
Yeah.
So that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Let's see here. We got one more bit of news. Where was it? Mirror's Edge Catalyst. EA delays game from February 23rd to May 24th.
Yeah. Well, because Far Cry Primal is coming out like around that time.
Oh, okay. That makes sense. Yeah. And it's going to be interesting. That's one of those I told you I never really played, and you were like, you got to play it.
You've got to play it. That's another one.
Oh, yeah. Well, I think that sums it up for games. But we'll be right back. We'll see you in a minute. We got some comic news to talk about, and we're going to be talking about Nailbiter. Again, you're listening to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM. See you in a minute. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast on the N.FM, and we're going to get into some comic talk here. Now, it was extremely light on news this week, so this segment might blend into our review segment, but that's okay because we have a ton of reviews, and we usually go short on that anyway.
Yeah.
But let's start out like what have you been reading, man? I know we'll get into Nailbiter in a few minutes. But what have you been reading?
That was pretty much it. I'm behind on like all the newer or like big title stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I did see Walking Dead 150 is out today.
Oh, it is. Okay.
And I am so like I think I'm like 20 back on that.
Oh, dude,
I know.
Man, that it's just ramped up. It really has the last volume. I stopped for a while, and then I started getting the trades, and now just a moment. Sorry about that. I did the trades, and I went to a comic shop. I got one of them, and then they were Oral. He was like, "You sure you just want one?" I'm like, yeah, I just want one. I come back, I think it was the next day or 2 days later, and he's like, I need the next two. So yeah, I'm caught up now, and now I've caught up basically to the week, to the month, and so it is so good. It's for a while there it was peaceful, it was whatever. There was some stuff that happens, some crazy stuff that happens, but not like next level stuff. Now we're full on next level stuff, and so I guess it makes sense. 150 is. I imagine some stuff is going down.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, some major stuff started happening again. So I can't wait. Yeah, dude, I can't wait. I've been reading a lot of Star Wars stuff.
Okay, tell me about
Um,
it.
Apparently, yeah, all of them except for the main series. I was looking at my stack here. Yeah, I need to catch up. I'm like 3 or 4 behind on the main Star Wars series, but what's really good, and I cannot recommend this enough, is the Darth Vader series. It's basically the story of him, and this girl. I can't even think of her name. It's my mind's going blank here for a second. Um, uh, but basically it's a story of he sets her out in motion to screw things up kind of for the emperor, to prove his worth. And I don't want to go too much into it because I want you to read it, but it's a really cool give and take with his character and her character because she is kind of like she's happy and she's this charm and there's moments in it where she sees Padme, and she talks about her. And of course, anyone talking about her in front of Vader, it's this, oh man, it's this strange situation. And he basically sends her on missions to go do stuff for him, low key as possible, to screw over bounty hunters and do all this other stuff. So it's really her series. But Darth Vader is like he's the manipulator. He's manipulating everything, and it's just I can't recommend it enough.
Nice.
Yeah, the regular series is the one where Han Solo supposedly has a wife, so I need to catch up with that one. But let's see here. But yeah, so I mean, we can get in. We I don't think there's any news. I know the Grant Morrison's Claws #1 is coming out this week.
Yeah.
So go pick up that.
He he called. I know we've kind of talked about it like it's Santa Claus Year One.
Mhm.
He had a great quote. He calls it his all-star Santa Claus.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Oh yeah, oh yeah. I can't wait for that. It looked amazing.
As long as
Um,
it's more all-star Superman than all-star Batman and Robin, we'll be fine.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, no doubt, no doubt.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Um, let's see here. There was another bit of information, news. Marvel told comic shops to destroy Avengers vs. Infinity #1.
Really?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know why. I guess there was a huge misprint for like a bunch of pages. So yeah, if you get your hands on that, hold on to it because those are going to be rare. But yeah, so let's get in talking about Nailbiter. Let's see here. Let me pull up the information on it. But I mean, before we get into it, what did you think of it, man?
It was interesting. Like I'm glad there's more than one volume. Like
Oh yeah.
I only got through the first volume, but like it sets up a really interesting story.
Oh yeah, exactly. And let me pull it up so I can give all the details on it. Let's see here. Why am I having such a hard time pulling this up here?
I don't know.
Oh man, I should have had all this up ahead of time. Okay, so Nailbiter. It's Image Comics. There's a lot. Hold on. There's Joshua Williamson is the writer. There's a lot of artists on it. There's Mike Henderson, John J. Hill is the letterer. Cover is Charlie Adlard. Colorist is Adam Guwatsky. We're just gonna go with that because it makes sense. And yeah, Nailbiter. Let's see here. We talked about it last week a little bit, but Buckaroo, Oregon, has given birth to 16 of the vilest serial killers in the world. An obsessed, and so it's basically a story about an obsessed FBI profile investigating a town has suddenly gone missing. And now his buddy, NSA agent, must work basically to solve the case and find his friend and find out what's going on in this town. All the meanwhile, crazy stuff's happening, and the nail biter guy, it kind of plays what's his name in the Silence of the Lambs.
Hannibal Lecter, yeah, a little bit.
He kind of plays like a Hannibal Lecter type role in it, where and this isn't that big of a spoiler, but oh, I guess we should say we're gonna get spoilery. I don't want to give too much away, but if you want to go in fresh, might want to hold off on listening to this part. But basically, it's the story of the nail biter guy got away with it, and I don't believe we saw how. He he was not found not guilty. So he actually goes back to this town and he lives there, and everyone's pointing the finger because crazy stuff is still happening. And he's kind of like, well, it's not me. I'm not doing it. You figure out who else is doing it because I'm not doing it. So, I found it really interesting. Let's see here. There's a lot of mysteries. In this one, it seems like there's a lot of more questions than there are answers.
Yeah. Well, and that's what you want from something like that. You want it to be, you want to be able to be involved with it, really.
Oh, absolutely. And if you don't mind, if it was cool, I don't know whose comic is picking this week. There's one I want to pick for us to read for the next week, if that's okay.
Go
And we'll
for
get
it.
to that in a minute. Okay,
Yeah.
cool. Because there's one that I've truly enjoyed. I've only read a few volumes of it, but I really think it'd be cool if we read it. We'll get to that in a minute. But it's one of those where it's like a lot of questions and not a lot of answers, but it's an ongoing. So yeah, that's when I started reading this, and I think the first volume was 5 issues. They're on like volume 4 now, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm super interesting in reading more of this. Let me go ahead and pull it up here. Uh, yeah. So, one part that I want to know is I guess it's a big spoiler for it, but our main character, you see him in a pretty screwed up situation at the beginning of the volume,
Yeah.
where yeah, he's kind of had enough, and he's on the verge of just total meltdown, and that's putting it very lightly.
Uh-huh.
Well, I mean, we can spoil the kind of that part. He has a gun to his head. He wants to kind of end it. And later on in the comic, you find out why. And I want to know more about why, because I don't think they even talk about it, do they?
No. No. Not
Yeah,
not at least not yet. Anyway, as far as I've read.
right. So I'm super interested in finding out, what is going on with that.
Yeah.
What else was there? Uh,
I
you know,
I I loved I loved the idea of like this town has gone to hell, and
mhm.
not and in the sense that you would expect, not because people are afraid, but because they've just kind of all cracked.
Yeah,
Like it really is like you think of like a dystopian future where more quarantine than anything else, where like everybody is just kind of an asshole,
right.
and I mean like way more so than people are today. But and you're like, what? How did this happen? Well, it was either that or everybody leaves, and they just
Yeah.
kind of like this is the world they live in,
Yep.
and so like the idea of the guy running the theme shop and wanting to get a convention
Mhm.
together, like that's it sounds to us just abhorrent, but you notice like the even the cop that they have there who was there her whole life, like it's just kind of like, yeah, this is just part of it.
Yeah.
And it's like,
Yeah.
that's, man, how do you get in that mindset?
Yeah, exactly. Oh yeah, oh yeah, and that's what I thought was so cool is that this is new. This is all new to me. Like I've not known of any sort of like horror where they've like a town full of serial killers, and why are they all coming from there?
Yeah.
It was totally new. It was totally fresh. It was definitely worth the read. And I don't know. I thought it was really good, and I can't recommend it enough. This is something I'm going to continue moving forward. And I'm going to seek out the second volume. Just because I thought how great it was.
They're up to, yeah, I think they're up to 3 volumes now, right?
Yeah, yeah. And
Nice.
I'm trying to think of what else the writer did. My internet's kind of going bonkers right now, so I can't look it up. But yeah, it's telling me it's gonna kill my browser. God. Come on. Who's the name of the writer on it?
I was just coming to that. Like I can't. haven't been able to find it real quick. It is. I can't
Josh
find it.
Williamson. Yeah, that's it. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me see because I know he wrote one of the DC comics. Let me see here.
Really? He wrote DC? Was it? I mean, was
I
it something
think
we'd
so.
expect, like Swamp Thing or something? Or
Let me take a look here. No, I want to say it was one of the Batman characters.
really?
I don't know. I don't know. We'll get to that. My internet's going bonkers.
Oh,
So
he wrote Voodoo. That's what it was.
okay, that yeah, I see. I'm way off, but yes. But yeah, I know. I remember listening to him on a podcast, him talking about Scott Snyder and his influences and whatnot, and you can kind of see it in here. You can really see it in here, I think. But yeah, man. But that was a comic we read this week. Can't recommend it enough. What I want us to talk about next week, and what I want you to seek out, and maybe you've already read it now that I think about it. Have you read Morning Glories?
Like an issue or two,
Okay.
I
All right.
think.
That's what I want to do. I want us to read the first volume. I have the I don't know what it's called. It's like a super hard edition, whatever. David Lindelof actually he what do you call it? Where someone important writes the beginning page and they
Forward.
a forward, yeah. And so he it's basically because the writer of it, Nick Spencer, loved Lost. He really loved Lost, and so this was such a get for him. So it's basically it's Runaways meets Lost.
Okay, well that could be interesting.
Right, that's how it's produced. That's how it's presented. Yeah. So basically, introducing. It's about these kids who go to this school called Morning Glory Academy. How they arrive there is absolutely insane. Why they are there is crazy. They try and figure it all out. Where are they? Pretty much. It's like Lost. It's really like Lost, but like an academy. And
Interesting.
yeah, it's really good. So that's gonna be our book next week, Morning Glories, Image, Volume 1. And we're out for comics. We'll be right back though. We got reviews to talk about. See you in a few minutes. Welcome back to We Geek Podcast, and this is the review section of our show. One more thing before we get into it, though, I wanted to say the main character in the Darth Vader comic is Dr.
Afra.
Afra, yeah. She's super cool. Best part of the whole series. Also, she has two droids, much like C-3PO and R2-D2. One's called 000 and BT-1, except they love torturing humans. They're evil versions of R2-D2 and C-3PO.
Oh,
And
good.
yeah, and the C-3PO counterpart is just always like, but can I torture them at the end of everything? And she's like, no, you can't. And he's like, bless the gods or whatever. Like he's always upset that he can't hurt somebody. So yeah. All right. Well, we'll get into reviews here. Let's which one should we start at? Because we got a lot.
uh, I don't know.
You want to do your movies first?
Yeah, we'll do movies. Sure, why not?
Okay. Well, we both seen Bridge of Spies. I loved it. What'd you think?
I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was exactly like when you see like Tom Hanks period war spy piece directed by Steven Spielberg. It's exactly what you get. Like
Yeah.
that's what you expect going in is what it's going to be. And it was good. I enjoyed it.
I thought it was compelling. I loved, especially his speech about America when he's sitting down with the guy, and he's like, I forget the whole conversation, but I just liked his idea of Americanism that everyone gets a shot, at the justice system, and that's the point. I love that he was like, what's the difference between me and you? And he's like, what are you? He's like, I'm Irish and whatever. And he was like, these are just places we're from. What's the difference? It's the Constitution that makes us American.
Yeah, the rule book
The
conversation.
rule book,
It's like it is because the guy says there is no rule book here. And he
right?
says to him, he says, no, we have a rule book. We call it the Constitution. Like, yeah, it's a whole,
Yeah.
because he is kind of an idealist
Hmm.
in that sense. And then you see, like, the people, because it's like, look, regardless of what people think, you're here, you are entitled to these rights. You do get your day in court. And the public hates him for it. The judge hates him for it.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
judge stands there and throws objectivity out the window.
Yeah. Oh
And
yeah.
then
And I loved that, he was like, it's not going to get into spoilers because it's a historical thing, but he's like, this guy was over here. Yes, of course, he was a spy and whatnot, but what's going to happen when we don't have any sort of leverage and something happens to our men on the other side? And he was smart to do what he did, and
Yeah.
I thought that was really well done. It's not a big action blockbuster. It's not some crazy plot twist or anything like that. It is exactly what I expected, exactly what I wanted out of it. So I thought it was a good
Exactly.
film.
Yeah.
Tell me about Martian because we both saw that one
I
as well.
love The Martian. That was such an awesome movie.
It was so good. Matt Damon he just shines, and it actually made me go and watch the Bourne series, which by the way I've watched 2 of them now.
There you
The
go.
first 2. I'm actually gonna be watching the third one today. I got this like tradition, or not tradition, but I have a schedule that I stay on. I see my grandparents about once a week, and we usually watch a film. And so we've been watching the Bourne series ever since I seen The Martian, because I wanted to see more Matt Damon and stuff that I haven't seen, and
Yeah.
that was it. So they haven't seen it, I haven't seen it. It's all new to us. So,
There you
uh,
go.
but I loved it. I loved all the moments of it was just him, figuring stuff out. It was much more funnier. It was so funny than I thought, much more funnier than I thought it would be. Just the science stuff of it was super cool, and it's like we got to science the shit out of this.
Yeah.
And so, it was just really cool. It was a Donald Glover was in it. And I guess I didn't realize that at first, and he plays a cool role. I loved the Council of Elrond.
That was, and
Sean Bean.
my favorite part was Jeff Daniels' reaction.
Oh yeah.
That was fantastic. I was like, there's no reason that he should have that line, but it's beautiful. I loved it.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It was perfect. I loved the film. What someone else brought up this point that I thought was great is there's no villain in the movie.
Exactly.
There's no bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just a story about trying to survive and trying to live and trying to bring, someone home, and you kind of see all aspects of that. And I thought it was really cool. We need more films like that.
Totally.
Oh yeah. Tell me about Steve Jobs. No, I haven't seen this. I want to see it.
Steve Jobs is everybody. You hear the phrase like it's like the social network with Apple,
Hmm.
and that's not a bad assessment. It's
Right.
not. We had the Ashton Kutcher version.
Hmm.
And this one is a little more intense. Well, it's a lot more intense, but
Right.
it's broken down into 3 pieces,
Hmm.
and it's backstage before 3 different launch events: the Macintosh, the black box for Next, and then the iMac.
Oh, okay. Not the iPod or
No,
the iPhone?
no, it stops before that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but it's an interesting look, not just at like the progression
Hmm.
of him, but the people around him and the world around him as
Right. Oh,
well.
yeah.
And it's not.
Yeah, love or hate Apple. They
Yeah,
changed the world.
they
Yeah.
did. You can't you can't really argue with that.
Yeah, the way we interact, the way we communicate with phones, it completely changed everything. So even
Yeah,
if you don't like Apple, let's say you're an Android and whatnot, and that's cool. The way Android is shaped, it's it it's they're both mirroring each other at this point. They both are feeding off of each other, and the way phones are smart today, it's all because of that. And so, yeah, dude, I really want to see that film. I heard really good things about it. But some interesting stuff. Sony passed on it, and Sony was the company that did Social Network.
yeah,
Apparently, this movie bombed, way bombed. Like it only made a few $1 million.
really.
No one
I
went and
didn't
saw
check
it.
the numbers.
Yeah, no one went and saw it. You saw it, and I think 6 people in California saw it. No, I'm not. I'm being sarcastic, but yeah, apparently it really bombed, and I think Sony saw that because they saw how big. That's the thing. Social Network was huge. I think the reason why is because even with the Social Network, when you see the trailers for that, you can kind of root for him. You're like, oh yeah, you're some nobody coming from nothing, and you become an instant millionaire overnight, eventually billionaire. Where Steve Jobs in the trailer, he seems rough, like he doesn't seem like the nicest guy. The way he's talking about his daughter and everything else. I don't know, and I also think the public's kind of like we've heard this before a few years ago, and in the documentary that just came out, and it's thrown in our face all the time. And I think maybe it could have done with some time.
I think had we just had one Steve Jobs movie,
Right.
it would have helped. But I think it should have been this one.
That's
This,
true. That's what I heard too. This was a
yeah,
much better film overall,
big
and so
time.
I'm gonna go see it. I'm excited to see it. I kind of like these kind of films. How was Seth Rogen in it?
Seth was good. His part wasn't huge,
Okay.
but when he was there, it was important, and he had his biggest moment in that third segment
Okay.
where
Well,
they had a real back and forth, and it
gotcha. Yeah.
was it's great. Everybody that's in it is fantastic. Like
Nice.
it's a really really well done movie.
Awesome. Awesome. I want to see it. Well, let's get on. We got so much to talk about. I'll talk about Ash vs. Evil Dead real fast. I know you haven't seen it. I loved it. It was fun. It was everything you expected to be. Like
Good.
I don't want to get into it. It's crazy. It's super creepy at some points. I didn't expect who would die or who would ever. I can't wait for the next episode. Like, and it's
Nice.
funny in the most campy way. The whole opening with him, and all I'll say is in a bathroom, is just hilarious. Absolutely hilarious, and like how the series kicks off again. And I had to refresh my memory how it all started, but you get some of that. So go see that. Let's talk about
It sounds like it sounds like they made the show everybody wanted them to make.
exactly. Oh yeah,
Excellent.
it's exactly what it is. Tell me a little bit about Doctor Who because I haven't seen all of it.
It's you can wait until next week and then watch them both because it's another freaking two-parter.
It's another one of them. Okay, yeah, it seems like they're on that
They
trend.
have been. All of them this season have been two-parters. I don't find they've reintroduced the Zygons, which are the shapeshifters, and I don't find this story is not really interesting to me. Like
Okay.
it's a complete apocalyptic story, but
Gotcha.
I don't know, for whatever reason, I can't get invested.
Yeah, well, I'll check out it next week when it does the two-parter. Now, The
Yeah.
Walking Dead. Now, I'm kicking myself because I thought I watched the whole thing and I didn't. I got cut off, so I had to do something, and I never went back to it. I watched
Ah,
about half of it, the part where he is kind of locked up.
yeah.
He lets him out. He goes crazy, and then he gets locked up again, and that's where I left off. So, what did
This
you think of it? I
this
heard it was really
episode
good.
this episode was like a short film. It's a magnificent. It's just those two. Like
Okay,
that's except for like the little coda at the end.
I like
Like
that.
these two are the only two you see, and it's that this is that story.
That we need some of these in The Walking Dead. I enjoy that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm gonna watch the rest of that actually today. I was kicking myself because I'm like I was looking at the list and I was like, wait, oh I never finished that. I was like, oh my god. But yeah. So let's talk about some things we both saw. Are you caught up with Arrow?
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
I can't wait for tonight.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be so good. I like the new lair that he has. I like that he's running for mayor. Like there's so many cool things about it.
And we get Constantine back tonight. Like that's
Yep.
I'm
Yep.
so oh I'm so in.
Oh yeah, it's gonna be
I
amazing.
loved in the teaser, like when he flips open, he just has that one line. He flips open the lighter and he's staring straight at the camera and he says, "On with the show." I was
Yep.
like, yes,
Oh,
yes.
that's so cool. Yeah, that they're just speaking to the audience. So meta. I love it. I love
Yeah.
it. DC is knocking it out of the park. Did you see Supergirl?
I didn't see the one this week. No.
Okay, I'll briefly talk about that. I really like it. I like the Kryptonian. It's touching more on the Kryptonian family and that they're, her and her cousin are not the only Kryptonians on the planet. And so it goes a little bit more into that. We got a hint at I don't want to spoil it, but towards the end there's something that happens and it's a hint at a character that I'm excited about. Did you see any of Agents of Shield?
No, no, I'm a couple
Okay.
back on Shield.
There's a big twist in it, so stay off of Social Network for anything Agents of Shield. There's a big twist. Not major, but I didn't see it coming at all. But it was really good. I liked it. It that show just gets better and better.
Yeah.
Um, let's talk about Flash.
Man, I love this show. I love this
Yeah.
show so much.
Oh yeah, we finally get Vibe's name. You know, my favorite line in the whole thing is when, okay, so Barry is blinded. He's going on the date. Cisco's helping him out. He's got glasses on where Cisco's telling him things. She's looking like this. She's looking like that. And he says, and he forgets that Cisco's there, and he says something, and he goes, "Yep, I'm still here, peeping and creeping."
Yeah.
Thought it was great, and I just can't wait to see. We're kind of running out of time, but I can't wait to see what happens more with this. So to wrap it up, again, go to our Facebook page, We Geek Podcast. I'm gonna post the I'm gonna post the story about Daniel, the hashtag Force for Daniel, about how you can help. His wife has a GoFundMe or one of those projects where you can help him and his family through the hard time. I'm probably gonna post some other things that I forgot on the show, like anything. I'll listen to the show and see what little things I said I'll go and forget. But again, We Geek Podcast. It's our Facebook group. Like it. We have T-shirts. I think there's 3 left.
We've got a handful left. We've got 5 days before the campaign runs out. So go get them quick. It's a Teespring campaign. That link will be on our pages too, but they are going fast.
Exactly. Go get it. Yeah. I can't wait to have it. Go to our Twitter. It's at We Geek Podcast. My personal is at Adam Estep. That's ADAMESTEP. And what's yours, Logan?
At the Logan Witt. That's WITT.
There you go. And send us an email. It's wegeekpodcast@gmail.com. I actually got in touch with a few people I play Destiny with. They have a podcast, and they kind of want to do the joining and doing a few where we talk to them. And so we might do that in the future. So look forward to that. So that's our Twitter. That's our Facebook. Again, we're on the N.FM, so listen to us every Wednesday at 9 p.m. That's super important for us and for the show and for the station. And I think that's it. So we'll see you guys next week. We'll talk about the World of Warcraft trailer and everything else. Captain?
Captain.